1887年，是澳大利亚最古老的大学之一。该校是澳大利亚最优秀的10所大学之一，同时也是在上市公司占主导地位的其中20所科技学院之一，以其毕业生的高就业率闻名世界。这所大学在广告、艺术、通讯、设计、工程和技术学科中得到了国际公认的美誉。墨尔本皇家理工大学的校园就坐落在墨尔本的市中心区域，学校工会和学生会均举办了大量的社会及俱乐部活动，使学生们可以跟社会有良好的互动。位于10号楼的咖啡区及其他的休闲区域也增强了学生们之间的互动。今天，人民网澳大利亚采访了墨尔本皇家理工大学的校长吉尔·帕尔默女士。
Okay, Vice Chancellor, thanks for your time today. Maybe first of all, you would just like to say hi to our audience.
Okay, well, thank you very much. My name's Jill Palmer. I'm the Vice-Chancellor of RMIT University. I'm very pleased to have the opportunity to give you a little bit of information about our university. I am from Europe, been in Australia though for about 30 years, and here at RMIT for about 8 or 9.
I know RMIT is quite famous in Australia and also around the world. Maybe you can tell us a bit more about it, for example, international ranking and your well-known subjects.
Okay, let me talk about the university, which was founded in 1887. So it's one of Australia's oldest higher education institutions. It's also our largest higher education institution with 82,000 students. So we see ourselves as quite distinctive in that we have been very international. Australia has long attracted overseas students into our country, and RMIT has been at the start of that. So we have 18% of our students are in fact here in Melbourne from overseas, and 16% of our total students are actually offshore. So we have the world's largest offshore campus in 2 locations in Vietnam, and we also deliver offshore in some major partnerships in Singapore and in China, in Hong Kong and Shanghai, and a few other smaller partnerships elsewhere. If you're asking about rankings, we're an unusual university in that we're specialised. We call ourselves a University of Technology and Design. We have 3 major colleges, only 3. So there's the Science, Engineering and Health, there is Design and Social Context, and there's Business. And so because we specialise, we use the QS rankings. That one gives us, we're the top 100 in the world for employer ranking, and also in some of our major discipline areas like the engineering areas, some of the business areas, computer science, etc. In research, we come well above world standard in things like architecture, and above world standard in 19 of our disciplines.
I also heard that one of the QS rate is the employer rate, right? Because I heard that RMIT got quite a high graduate employment rate. Maybe you can tell us about the reason, and especially what the management have done to help these students, especially when the economic is not so good.
Sure. When we were founded as a vocational university. So work-integrated learning has been a tradition for the length of RMIT. That means we've had, in all our programs, we have some work-integrated learning component. That might be an industry placement or an industry project, something of that nature. So that aspect of it's in our DNA, if you like. In order to make sure it works well, every program on every school has what we call a program advisory committee. That's where we bring in people from industry to talk about the curriculum, to talk about the skills that they need and how skills might be changing in their industry. So that's one of the aspects. In order to help students with their careers, we have a lot of assistance, of course, to help develop their skills in terms of applying for jobs. We also use our alumni to mentor students. So we have 300,000 alumni across the world, and we are using those to mentor students, to give them advice about their career desires and prospects. We've got some very famous alumni, and we might mention that Robert Thompson, of our, who is the CEO of News Corporation, is mentoring students at the moment as part of this exercise to make sure that we give students a lot of support.
So I can tell that you have a lot of interactions with these entrepreneurs and industries to send students to those places for placement or for work. Maybe you can tell us your current big partners and your current biggest cooperation with industries?
The relationship we have with industry is very important for a vocational university. For example, we have important links with Airbus, BMW, Rolls-Royce, Siemens. In some cases, this involves taking our students to Europe and overseas for their placements. It's also research connections which occur.
So you also have like graduate work placement program to
Yes.
send them into the.
Yes.
So after they graduate, they can some of them they can stay there to work.
We found there's a lot of evidence that if a student does a work placement, then it enormously improves their work prospects of getting a job. And many of our students, obviously, if they do a work placement, do in fact stay with a particular company. Not all, but that's one of the reasons why these placements are so useful as a learning experience.
Yeah, I see. And talking about, let's talk about a bit international side. So apart from the domestic corporations, you must have a lot of cooperation with research institutes and universities around the world. Maybe you can tell us a bit more, especially those in China.
Certainly, yes. Obviously, with our background, we've got many partnerships, both for education and for research across the world. In China, we actually have 108 active partnerships at the moment.
108.
108. And if I can give you some examples, starting at the south, and quite recently too, we're working with the Jiangsu University of Chinese Medicine, with the Shenzhen municipal government, to build a connection and research on Chinese medicine, health sciences and biomedical engineering. That's connected with our strong focus on Chinese medicine. And we're very proud of the fact that we have the Chinese Medicine Confucius Institute, and that Xi Jinping, when he came to Australia in 2010, launched that institute for us.
Yeah, I saw that on news, yes.
Yeah, so that's in the south. If we move up to Shanghai, for 18 years we've had a successful relationship with the Shanghai University of International Business and Economics. In Nanjing, we have a relationship with Nanjing University of Chinese Medicine again, but also with the Nanjing University of Aeronautics and Astronautics. Yeah? In Tianjin, we've for many years been involved with training a training program for their municipal officers, and that's partly because Tianjin and Melbourne are sister cities. Yes. But we're also working in Tianjin on research and other activities in design and technology. And in Beijing, it's COMAC, I think, we have the Beijing Aeronautical Science and Research Technology Institute, where there are postdoctoral students. So since 2012, we've had postdoctoral students associated with your commercial aircraft corporation.
So I can see that you have a lot of cooperation, like from south to north around China.
Right.
And also, RMIT is quite famous among Chinese students. Maybe you can share with a bit more about how the students live here and what the university have done to help them to adopt, like in a foreign country.
It's a good question. As you can see, because we've been in international education for such a long time, assisting students to adjust to a new society, to come to Australia, has been long important to us. And recently the flow from China has been very good students. We're very proud of our Chinese students. With some of the ways we assist, we have an RMIT Mates program where we buddy with students here. Even before they come, they can have a relationship with students here to make that process easier. Once students come, we have facilities in here, of course, to help with study skills. If there's English issues or language issues or cultural issues, we have a study centre. There are many student societies which are specifically often caused by the students, but focusing on particular student interests and needs. We have had Chinese career fairs for those who wish to go back to China. We have, I think, a fair bit of support for students. Our beautiful buildings, which I hope you all have a chance to see, have been designed specifically to encourage student interaction, student spaces, and we find that's very, very successful. And you must see our parade, which we had yesterday. Yesterday we graduated many students, and marching down the main street of Melbourne, Swanston Street, I think you'll find among our cohort some very, very happy Chinese students, because it's an opportunity for family and friends to visit on a graduation day.
That must be a great event. That's the first time I've heard that, having a graduation parade in the city.
And it's not so unusual in Europe, where people dress up in their gowns and make a presence in the city. And we're very proud of the one here in Melbourne, because Melbourne claims and is a knowledge city. We have really been very attractive for overseas students for many years. So Melbourne in particular, I think, needs a celebration like that, walking down the centre of the city.
Okay, so now maybe you can tell us about your expectations about RMIT in the future, where it goes.
We're in a very strong position. In 2015, the budget is strong. We have had a very clear strategy to differentiate ourselves as an international university of technology and design. I see that continuing in the future. In the longer term, we know that next year we have some new leadership coming, which is very experienced in technology and in the internet world. And that's in many ways the way the universities are going, blending use of the internet with face-to-face student experience. I think RMIT is going to become known as very much 21st century, very new, very modern in that sense.
Okay, thank you very much. That's all for today. Thanks.